One. All right. Good evening, folks. Welcome to the next episode of the Jimmy O Show. We're on now episode 7, my favorite number. Dorian Williams, our guest. I'm going to jump in real quick. Dorian, I was born November 7th, 1977. I weighed 7 pounds and 7 ounces.
Right on.
That's pretty good, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Folks, I'm very pleased tonight to have all-conference performer, one of our true standouts at Tulane, Dorian Williams, who's now going to be, I guess with the COVID year, you're going to be a junior?
Yes, sir. I'll be a junior next year, too.
Yeah. You
Yes,
still count as a junior football. So technically, we got 2 years of you left if it lasts that long. We'll
Yes,
see.
sir.
Dorian, welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I say it lasts that long because Dorian, you came here as a pretty small guy, and now you've grown into 6'2", 225. Where are you right now?
230.
230. Yeah,
230.
Keep getting bigger,
Yes,
and kind of got that prototypical NFL body and speed combination at linebacker, and
Yes, sir.
I think we'll see you on Sundays eventually.
Thank you.
But take your time.
Yes, sir.
We like seeing number 2 out there for the Green Wave. So Dorian, we had your partner. Wouldn't say in crime, but y'all don't do any crime. We had your colleague right there, Nick Anderson, earlier.
Yes, sir.
Number 1. Now we got number 2, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little something about Nick. What's your favorite part of playing alongside Nick?
My favorite part I would say about playing with Nick Anderson, man, is his energy. His energy on the field is amazing, man. It radiates off of him, so it bounces from player to player, man. Just how he reacts after a play, good or bad. His energy's big. And then just how tough he is. He played half the Ole Miss game, hurting. So
on a broken leg.
Yeah, so that was just amazing to me. He came to me that game actually. He was he's like, man, my leg cramping. Like, we didn't know it was throat. He's like, man, my leg's cramping. I'm like, hey, man. I was thrown out of that game.
I was about to say, you already tossed, right?
Yeah, I was tossed out of that game for the target. And so I'm like, hey, you got to keep going. Like, we ain't got nobody else. Like you the only one. Like, I'm hurt. Like, I'm out. Moody's playing. Kel's playing. I was like, next thing up is a freshman. I was like, you got to make your money right now. Like, get all the tackles you can get. Stat pad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it let me broke.
Yeah, I know, and that was a tough one. First of all, the way you were called out for the targeting, it's like they reviewed some BS. I mean, they reviewed whether somebody stepped out of bounds or something. And
it was like the spot,
it was just
like
kind of a
ball,
non-controversial thing. And then the next thing you know, they come back from the break. It was like, oh yeah, number 2 for Tulane's ejected for targeting. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And you looked at it. It's just one of those bang bang things
Yes,
where what your helmet was about 2 inches too high or something.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough play on the defender. Running back drops his head. Trying to make a play, but yeah, they said it was calling it back for the spot of the ball, and we're all looking. I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, could be targeting. Like the helmet did kind of hit his helmet. It kind of looks targeting, and then Coach Moose looks at me. He's like, oh man. He's like, keep your head up, man. I was like, I'm trying to. And then they called me out.
So you gone, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, unfortunately, that game, you look at all the speed they had on the field and what they do with their running backs in terms of both just horizontally and in the pass game. It was a game Dorian Williams had to be in.
Yes, sir.
That was tough. That had to kill you that you couldn't finish that one.
Yes, sir. It was very tough. And really the big killer on theirs is their tempo. Their tempo is very fast paced. Like by the time you look to our you made the tackle, by the time you get up, you look to our sideline, they're already lined up about to hike the ball.
Right.
They're like honestly, it's just because they want a wide receiver they want to go 3-by-1. They'll go if they're in 2-by-2, they want to go 3-by-1. They'll run a route that makes them go across the field, so he'll be on that side, so he can go 3-by-1. So yeah, they got a major offense there.
Yeah, that's and I gotta respect that part of it. So when he's saying 3-by-1, it's like 3 receivers on one side of the field, 1 running back on the other, or if they want to go balanced, they want to have 2 on each side. They're actually incorporating that next play formation into the play call for the previous play, so that there's almost no time wasted in between plays, which puts a premium amount of stress on the defense.
Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
And so we talked a little bit about that with Nick about having to sort of all the things that you had to do in that very short period of time in terms of making sure guys got the call, got formation right. If we're going to be slanting or doing stunt whatever in the defense line, you got to communicate all that. You got to communicate the coverage.
Yes, sir.
All that in about 10 seconds.
Yeah. About 10 seconds is max.
Or less. Yeah.
Yeah. With the coach getting the call in, he wants the perfect call in, and then we got to communicate the call half the time. And then it's Ole Miss, so it had rowdy fans. It was hard to hear out there. Guys turned around looking at us, hiking the ball. I was like, hey, man, if you don't know the call, just go. If you don't know the call, just go.
Yeah, I know. So I told Nick, and this will be my segue back into where you're from and everything. The linebacker group, the off-ball guys, were my wife's favorite position group. She was born in Mississippi, but then she moved to Rock Hill.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So she, at age 9, they moved to Rock Hill. Eventually moved down to York, but she spent most of her teen years in that time frame, and that's right next door to Indian, right?
Yes, sir. My mom actually she's from Rock Hill.
Okay.
She went to Northwestern High School.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I think you and I had a prior conversation. I mentioned, Charlotte, my wife's, her best friend, his dad is the Hall of Fame head coach of Northwestern, Moose Wallace. You remember that name, Moose?
Yes,
Coach Moose, yeah. So Coach Moose, if you're watching, Dorian Williams, you let this one get away by going to Indian Land and not getting him into Rock Hill. A real good player from there. I remember this was been early on when I started going to see her family and everything. There was a huge national televised game. It was the new school that opened had Jadeveon Clowney.
Yes, sir. South Point versus Northwestern.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big rivalry in Rock Hill.
Yeah.
Everybody shows up to that game.
Yeah, and that was so it's like apparently Moose's former protege took over at South Point, and he had Jadeveon.
Yes, sir.
But I think, and they were supposed to win the game. He was the number 1 recruit in the nation and all that. But then I think Northwestern actually took that one home.
They may have.
Yeah.
I think South Point will win like state that year, though.
Yeah. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they had a squad. On.
Watching that guy play in high school was awe-inspiring. I mean, he was so much better than everybody else on the field.
Yes, sir. He was a freak.
Yeah.
6'5", 270, 260 in high school.
Yeah.
He playing running back. They line him up at running back DN. He did a lot.
Yeah. So how about you and your high school career at Indiana? I mean, you sort of have a different path than him. You when you came to Tulane, you were I want to say undersized. You had good height, but you were thin, right?
Yes, sir.
You were playing in the high 190s in high school.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And so did you play other sports?
I played basketball. I played like 1 year baseball. Found out it wasn't for me. The ball was coming a little fast. It was hard to hit it.
Yeah. Our associate producer Henry over there likes baseball. He's playing some baseball, and the ball just seems every year it gets older. The ball's coming faster and faster.
Yes, sir.
Of course, he throws it faster and faster too, so that's good.
Right on.
But but basketball, were you what position?
Played power forward.
Yeah,
Power forward. Yes, sir. Big rebounder. Play defense. That's about it. That's about all you get out of me.
Yeah.
Get 10 rebounds, about 4 or 5 fouls.
I found out one basketball game in the first half.
Oh,
that's hard to do.
Yes, sir.
Normally they get taken out, but the coach was so upset with the way things were going. He's like, "You just stay out there." I was like, "Coach, I'm not gonna make it." and when about 3 minutes left into the half, I was gone. I was like, "Well, that was our last game. It was a bad way to end the season." But yeah, man, you post up. They don't give you the ball in the post,
Yes, sir.
You see, you got to do all the dirty work. You got to get all your points on the putbacks. You and I are kindred spirits.
Right on.
At that position. So coming out of Indiana, well, first of all, you're just looking at you by you. You're the baby boy of the family.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 1 brother, 2 sisters.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How what's it like growing up? How much older are they than you?
My oldest sister's 7 years away from my second sister.
Okay.
And I'm the baby, and then my brother and my second sister same age. So,
okay, they're twins.
Yeah, so 14 away from the oldest, and then 7 from the second oldest.
Oh, okay. So you got really spoiled at home.
Yes, sir. Well, I wouldn't say spoiled.
No,
a little bit.
You see, because what happens to Miles? I have 4, and Henry's 12. He's the oldest, and I'm 9 and 8. And they're at each other's throats all the time. And then there's a 4-year-old, and she's pretty much all the other siblings' favorite, except for the one closest to her in her age. That one, they're only about 4 years apart, 3.5 years apart. And she gets after her a little bit, but the rest of them, I mean, Henry and Martha, my second one, they baby her. I mean, they pamper her. They love her. Yeah. I mean, she's so cute, you know.
Yes, sir.
So that's you. Yeah, you were the cute one.
Yeah, full of it.
Oh, they didn't try to dress you up in dresses.
Oh no, we weren't doing that.
No. Okay.
We weren't doing that now.
Little sisters, you know. Never know. With the big sisters, I should say. So look, you come up, you're a dual sport athlete, and then, you know, I guess were you a linebacker at Indiana, or did you play a sort of
started safety for 2 years, and then I moved back down to linebacker for my senior year.
Mm-hmm. And then you're looking at the recruiting profile. It looks like you chose Tulane over. Team has made some noise here lately. Coastal, Coastal Carolina, and Troy was also on you. Were there anybody else out there?
Couple smaller schools. Campbell was one of them. USC wanted me to walk on. I wasn't too big on the walk on thing. I didn't want to. So when I have other Division I offers, why would I walk on?
Yeah. And what would they tell you? I mean, because you could run, you were tall and all that. They tell you you're too skinny, too thin,
too small. I mean, I came from small 3A in Indiana, South Carolina. Like nobody was. I'm probably one of the bigger names out of Indiana, South Carolina right now.
Sure.
And so our school really had too much hype behind it until recent time. Many guys from our school now played Division I ball, and
now people are going to Indiana.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They're building something special. Got a new school, new field.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, new stadium. Yeah, they're having a good time.
Now, now in that little circle, so Rock Hill's right there, Indiana, and Fort Mill's right there as well.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Throw this out there. Have you ever been to a Italian place in Fort Mill called Fratelli's?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, that's one of my wife was in the wedding of the husband and wife team that owns it. She was in that wedding. Yeah. So when you go back home,
go ahead and stop by.
Go to Fratelli's. Tell them Charlotte Ordeneaux sent you, and they'll hook you up. They'll take care of you.
Right on. Yeah. Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, man. So all right. So look, you come into Tulane. It's kind of like I'd say it's the classic sort of Coach Fritz sort of thing where one of the things I give him a lot of credit for is sort of seeing guys says, look, I'm going to take that guy right there that's maybe not on the top of all these recruiting services radar.
Yeah.
But I see a football player right here, and we're going to develop him, whether it's you or Darnell or any number of guys that like sort of came in and just immediately you see him. I was like, man, I remember watching you true freshman year, like played a little bit.
Yeah.
We had some pretty good guys. Like, he could move. I was like, man, it puts 10, 15 pounds on. He's gonna be something.
Yeah, sir.
And then next year you show up, you've put on most of that weight on, huh?
Yes, sir. That was at a COVID year. With Wes, this is a big debate in the program, man. I always asked Coach Moose, I was like, Coach, why you? Because I got offered late by Tulane. Mm-hmm. I was already committed to Coastal, took my official visit. I was about to sign, and Coach Fritz had called me. When Wes had texted me, it was like, are you still like open to hear from any schools? I was like, yeah. So like Tulane popped up, and like I told like my teachers, they're like, Tulane's a great school. Like you need to really hear them out. So Wes is really the person that found me, Wes Fritz, and the way he found me is the York game. I had picked a guy up from like his waist, and like I had his feet in the air, and like I guess he was recruiting the guy from York, but I had dropped him on his head, and Wes sent the like film to me, and he was like, hey. He's like, what was you thinking on this play? I was like, hey, man, he had his head down. I just wanted to teach him, have your head on when you run 2 tackles, man.
You had to learn a lesson.
I had to learn his lesson. He like screenshot and everything. It was a good time, though. Came down to New Orleans, had a good time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And then you signed up, man. Well, now I mean, and I guess that's sort of the part of your game, and we'll get into it, but there is a violence that, this nice smile, just your opportunity, I guess. I mean, we all who enjoy football, who tend to be nice guys, I mean, it's a chance where you kind of get to take some of that aggression out, right?
Yes, sir. I was like, we all have a big debate, man, about who the hardest hitter on the team is. And I just like to hit hard, Some of you got to get them down most of the time, but if it's a hard hit, I like to go get it.
Yeah,
go get it for sure.
Well, with you, I mean, the one advantage your partner there has is that he's always got better leverage than everybody because
Yes,
he's
sir.
playing lower to the ground.
Yeah.
And he's so strong, and he's playing with that good leverage. But really, one thing that's really impressive watching you is that you're tall. You don't play tall except when you're supposed to. In other words, in pass coverage, you're tall and imposing. But when you're in the traffic having a breakdown, you do play with great leverage.
Thanks.
Is that just natural God-given ability? Is something you had to work hard on to sort of learn to play lower to the ground in order to deliver the type of hard hit you're talking about, right?
Yes, sir. It was something Coach Moots, in high school, my coach told me like at the next level, like you're playing with your pads that high, they're gonna put you in your head. Because Coach Blades played in the NFL. He played with the Redskins a couple of years. He played at Pitt. He played at Pitt. He was an All-American, all that type of stuff. So he played linebacker. He knew what he was talking about. So I took all his coaching, and then coming to Tulane with Coach Moots and all the guys ahead of me. It was a great learning opportunity because I entered early. I came to school early.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was a great learning opportunity for me to get behind those guys, learn from Coach Moots, and then my first spring, I learned to play with better pad level because it beat me up every day. So,
yeah, that's one way to learn.
So to learn.
Well, and it's something I always. It's not uncommon, and I've done less watching linebackers coming in. I always would, when we sign a class, I never really got too much into recruiting, but once the class decided to go watch their highlight tapes, and it's like every single offensive lineman you sign, I did the same thing. They all play too high. Yeah. I mean, it's just in high school, they come off the ball and it's like, why are you standing straight up? You're gonna get killed. Because I got killed.
Yes,
I knew it. I showed up and these real grown men were on the other side of the ball, and I'm come off the ball and I stand up. I mean, boom, smacked in the chest. I'm getting thrown around. It's like you can learn to play low real fast at this level.
Yes, sir.
And so you mentioned your high school coach a few times, Coach Williams. Was it?
Coach Blades.
Blades, okay.
Yes,
and so he was a big influence.
Yes, sir. He comes from a good line of football. The Benny Blades,
the Benny Blades, and that whole family.
Al Blades, all those guys. So he's part of that family. He's a good guy. Good guy.
Now, was he a U guy or was he you said he went to Pitt?
Yes, sir. He went to Pitt. So everybody was like, "Yeah, you got a solid Pitt." He said he wanted to write his own path, so he went to Pitt.
Okay, I got it. Well, Pitt's put out some. It's interesting. Pitt's never had the sort of, since Tony Dorsett, but like they haven't had like that top 10 team. But you look at the guys they've put out in recent times. Larry Fitzgerald, Darrell Revis, LaShawn McCoy. I mean, all these guys were like sort of in a relatively small window. I was like, man, where are all these guys come from? Pitt. Yeah, Pitt knows talent.
Pitt knows talent. He spotted. They got him there, man. And he did his thing. Yeah. But he's a very, very strong-minded person. Yeah, he's good. Good coach.
Yeah, and so you learn from him, and then you show up to Tulane. You got Coach Moots. You've had Coach Moots the whole time.
Yes, sir. My dog, man.
I mean, it's universal. Every guy I talk to, they all that play for Coach Moots, they love Coach Moots. What is it about him that makes him special?
Coach Moots has a very, very good way of getting his point across without yelling. Mm-hmm. So, like, how a lot of guys don't respond. Some guys may not respond good to yelling, like. In high school, Coach Blaze, he was always yelling. He would yell at you, let you know what's going on. But he got it away. He got his point across. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And Coach Moots, he just he's very technical. It's like if you make the play, but your feet are not quite right, he's gonna let you know.
Right.
You'll be like, okay, watch this play, Coach. He was like, yeah, but your feet and your hands are not good, right. So that's why you're not. That's why you didn't get the block off fast enough. Or that's why the hit wasn't as big as it could have been. But, Coach Mooch is very technical. He's a very loving guy. He always has guys that want to play for him because he's a very loving guy. We walk around the facility, he asks everybody, how's your family doing? He knows, your parents' name, where you're always – he knows where every kid on the team, where their parents are from, where you're from, what position they play in the high school, position they play now. He's a very good coach, man.
Yeah, man, look, and that's what it's all about. That's why why get into coaching if you don't want to be that guy, right? You get into it because you have a passion for the game. You have a passion for teaching young people, and when you get to know guys like y'all, if you can't have a passion for getting to know them as people, then why are you doing this? Yeah. Because y'all, it's just I've enjoyed all the time I've spent with you guys, and I know it's obvious Coach Moose does too.
Yes, sir.
And it's a credit to Tulane. I think really when you look at the play of your position group over the 7 years, I mean, it's like the off-ball guys, you linebackers, y'all have steadily every single year seem to exceed expectations or meet or exceed expectations. Yes, so we won't give him all the credit. It takes a lot of talent too.
Oh no, Miss Melissa, his wife, she deserves a lot of it too.
She deserves all the credit.
She deserves a lot of it too, man. For everybody's birthday, everybody get their favorite dessert. She always texting, checking up on us, talking with our parents at the game. This is. I feel like that's my second parents. My parents in New Orleans, those are my parents, man. And I'm grateful for them.
Yeah, well, look, we got guys from all over. We don't have a bunch of Louisiana guys. I mean, we got guys from a bunch of different states, and you got to have that, man. That's all part of the deal. Our offensive line coach used to, his wife, when we would have, I forget what it was the Monday morning sessions, like at 5:30 a.m. or whatever. She would make like a breakfast casserole for us. Yes, that went a long way. It's like I didn't like the coach that much. Well, I'm kidding, but his wife was great.
Yes,
So anyway, you show up at Tulane. You're being recruited at least your senior year. You're in your 190s. You say you're about 230 now.
Yes, sir.
And Nick also made it a mission on here. He says that you now got him in the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What's the bench up to now?
Like closer to 405.
Yeah.
Upper 405. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick's the type of guy, man. He won't let nobody be too much stronger than him for too long. He'll be in the room hitting some curls. Hitting the bench a little bit harder every week. He don't like too many guys being stronger.
Yeah.
I love that.
And Nick, he says you got some work to do to get him in the squat though.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be tough.
He's a shorter guy though.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
We're gonna let him have it. We're gonna let him have that one. He's squat close to 600. Maybe I think he's over 600.
Yeah.
He is a strong guy, man. And the way it moves, it's butter. It's butter. He's not even struggling.
Yeah, you watch it. It's just like
he's like. Yeah, he got it.
That man's got like 7 plates on each side. And it's just, yeah.
Yes, sir. They had they can't even put the clips on. It's like rubber bands and stuff holding it together. I'm like, all right, man, I'm just going to spot you, man. You hit the weight, I got you, man.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, it's just amazing. I marvel at, because I know how hard I have to work and what I can do, and it's like I marvel at how easy guys can make some of these things look. But,
yes, sir.
But you included, man. You're getting after it now. So all right. So as far as your game, your strengths as a linebacker, what do you consider to be your sort of best attributes?
I would say my length, my speed, my coverage. I think my coverage is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to hit. Like I'm not afraid of any contact.
Yeah. Well, I think it was Pro Football Focus said somewhere last season they had you as a top 5 coverage linebacker.
Yes, sir.
Maybe it was underclassmen, maybe it was all college football. I can't remember, but it was pretty good recognition from that group there.
Yes, sir. I think I was top 5 in coverage, and Nick was like top 5 run defense. So that was great for us to have together.
Yeah, you need both, right?
Yes, sir.
And now look, you're pretty strong against the run too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I thought that sort of swoon in the middle of the season, you were missing your guy on the UAB game in ECU. We had some rough
patches.
We had a rough patch, and it seemed for whatever reason, it seemed like we kind of lost our edge on the run side. Now a lot of it was Nick was out.
Yeah.
But I mean, you still had Kevin Henry, and you still had Marvin, and you had players around.
Yeah.
What was it you think was going on that part of the year where we just kind of, I'd say, lost our way a little bit in terms of stopping the run? Even when we struggled in the past in other years, we still were a pretty good run stopping team. Is there any one thing, or is it just kind of like?
It was just we didn't play together in those types of games. We didn't play together as defense. Like everybody, all 10 would be doing something wrong, and then doing something right, and then the one player be out of his gap, and then that's all the offense need. One guy to be out of his gap, especially the guy from ECU, 25. He can run. He can run. His speed was crazy. So if he saw the open gap, he's gonna hit it.
Yeah.
But like if you miss your leverage a little bit, he's gonna go. So then it turns to a track race. Ain't too many people catching. I
got to tell you, I'm going to walk you through. I don't want you to relive that game, but I got to share this with you. So that game, my wife and I went to a marriage family weekend conference. It was, working on, how to be better parents and all this other stuff. and it happened during the middle of the game, and so I successfully avoided all scores all day, which is hard for me on a Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Including it, but I skipped all scores. Didn't have a Tulane score. I get back to the room. I start watching the game on the ESPN app, and it just started. They were just landing on. I was like, "What in the heck is going on?" And yet, I just kept feeling like we're gonna stop it somehow. We're gonna turn this around. And we didn't quite.
Yeah, no.
No, we started making it a little bit more competitive for a little while there, but it really just never. And it was just so. They ended up being a much better team than I thought going into that game.
Yeah.
But still, it was an uncharacteristic team. And yet, you guys have earned enough of my trust that I was like, I'm sitting there. I'm like in the minute 50 of the game, still thinking somehow we're gonna
pull it out.
Pull it out. But we didn't get there. But we got something for them next year.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
They're coming to Human, and they're gonna get some payback. Huh?
Yeah, we done went up there back-to-back years, man. Time when them come to New Orleans, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great time.
Yeah, that's actually one of the cooler places to play. I imagine around the league. They get after it in Greenville.
Yeah, they have a great fan base actually.
Yeah,
and I'm closer. That's like the closest game I get. So I had like 20, 30 people come to the game. That's just a great experience to have everybody come out there. But yeah.
Yeah, they the Boneyard and the whole thing. I used to do radio for Tulane. I called a few games there, and remember when they had Justin Hardy? I think he set the NCAA reception. Yeah, they were good, and man, they get a good 45, 50 strong most games, and it's good for the league actually that they're turning it around and sort of getting back to what they were as a real tough out. I mean, week in, week out. For a while there. They were struggling, but they bounced back. Tulane's on the up. I mean, we got some programs on the rise in the American.
Yes, sir. Glad.
So looking at your career, we talked about the skinny kid shows up, played sparingly your true freshman year, and then the COVID year led the conference in tackles.
Yes, sir.
Pretty good.
Yes, sir.
Pretty good. Some all conference recognition that year, sort of. And then obviously this year some more all-conference recognition. Dorian, when was it that you knew you belonged on this level?
I would say I knew I belonged when my freshman year, I didn't get the red shirt. Most of the guys in my class red-shirted. I played mostly special teams. And then the Army game, I had got out there. That's when they had their win streak at home. Mm-hmm. So we came out there, and Coach Moose was like, "You ready to go in?" And I was like, I've been practicing all week, I'm going to see what college football is really about, And I had stuffed the guy in the hole. And I was like, yeah. Chase Kersey, Chase Kersey?
Yeah.
Chase Kersey, he got on my hat. He was like, oh, yeah, you stuffed him up. So, guys got in the locker room. They're like, hey, Dorian, you're going to be good. Believe, you're going to be good. Freshmen not usually doing type of stuff like that. So, it was just great, hear that from other guys. And I was like, no, I can really do this. So,
well, particularly against Army. I mean, you talk about it's a tough place to play, number one, but then the scheme that they're playing against you, I mean, they're doing so much to fool your eyes.
Yes, sir. It's all about eyes.
So as a true freshman, getting in there right there and to kind of see through that and stick to the key, make the play, I mean, if I were in your shoes, I'd say, yeah, I can handle this myself.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can see that. That's a tough challenge. You met it. Excuse me. And then just, it was no looking back from there, huh?
Yes, sir. Well, then sophomore year, I was like, it's time. It's time to step up, finally start playing more. So when we got sent home, everybody got sent home for the COVID.
Sure.
And I took it in two ways. I was like, people are either going to go home and not do anything, or people are going to go home and work their tail off. And it wasn't any gyms open. So I have like these metal plates and a bench upstairs. Me and two of my other friends that play ball. We're up there hitting the weights every day. Hot.
Yeah.
Hot.
Nice.
No AC upstairs. It's hot. Maybe, I think it's 100 degrees every day. Weights be hot to touch, but we're still getting it in, man. Sweating, drenched.
Yeah, nice.
That's great.
That's awesome. And you show back up, you ready to go?
Yeah,
so as far as sort of, we talked about Coach Blades and then, Coach Moots. How about some other influences? Who are some of the greatest influences in terms of making you the man and player you are today?
I would say Lawrence Graham, Malik. I looked up to a lot of the guys I played with. Out of high school, I looked up to Sean Taylor a lot. Just because I thought I was going to play safety. I was like, he's 6'3", 220.
Yeah.
I feel like I can get up there, He had a great career in Miami and played with the Redskins. He actually played with my coach, Coach Blades.
Yeah.
So he was telling me, he was like, Sean Taylor can go sideline to sideline. Like, the ball in the air, he going to the other sideline. He going to make that play. So, like, that kind of pushed me to, like, be able to do stuff like that. So, he was a great influence. You know, Lawrence and them guys are a great influence. Malik, Kev, being an older guy on the team. Just teaching me little stuff like how to watch film. Lawrence taught me great, like, just being a leader, how to act, how to handle, like, adversity. And, Lawrence was a great leader, man. I learned from a lot of guys.
Yeah, Lawrence great. He was like sort of in that line, Raywan Marley before him. That's a Australian guy from Macon. But with Nico, I mean, we've had guys throughout this tenure at that position to perform, and we love watching you perform.
Thank you.
So all right, so we're sort of looking ahead to 2022 season. In terms of a defense, what are you hoping to see out of your group, out of your teammates on that side of the ball?
We're looking to definitely improve from last year. Play together every snap. Everybody do what they're supposed to do. It was the first year for our DC, Coach Hamp.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is our second year, so we all have the game plan down. Not too much stuff is gonna change. We're gonna have everybody play on the same level. Have guys get a little bit bigger, have a bigger defense, run faster, hit harder. We're getting bigger really everywhere. Corners are getting bigger, safety's getting bigger, D-line, guys starting to lift a little bit more.
Yeah,
it's just great to see, man.
Yeah, well, look, So you mentioned Coach Hamp, and I said, last year, tough early start of the season. We really hit our stride down the stretch, playing really good defense down the stretch. So, one thing that really impressed me was that even though the wins losses were going against us, you guys kind of stayed with it, kept fighting, kept playing hard. Is it easy? I guess how much credit do you give Coach Hamp for the fact that you guys kind of were able to keep it together and improve dramatically down the stretch?
I think that was big. He's a great leader. He's a great leader. If even like days we like come off a bad game, he'll still joke with us. Like his love for us wouldn't change. So like he's like, I'm not gonna give up on you guys. Like you can't give up on him. You can't give up on the coach. He's not gonna give up. So it was just great. Even though we have mental buzz out there on the field, he still showed love for us. So that's something that's big for everybody. I feel like everybody on the team.
Yeah, and so what attributes Coach Ham? What do you think makes him such a good defense coordinator?
Coach Ham, he has a great defensive mind. He has a great defensive mind, and getting guys to play for him. Like a lot of guys love Coach Ham. When he went to Duke, that was the worst thing you could have did to the DBs, man. That's the worst thing you could do to DBs. It's like you killed their puppy, man. And so he came back. I knew the DB was gonna be hyped by that. So that was great to get Coach Ham back. He's a great guy.
Yeah, and they bounced back. The 2020 season, that year, you're probably looking at – I'm not throwing anybody at a bus, but, we probably should have been 9-10 win team, but we had some
bust.
We had a couple issues on the back end on defense that led to some kind of monumental and unexpected losses, and, that problem got fixed with Coach Hamp showing back up.
Yes, sir.
So I'm glad that they got to get their leader back and got those things fixed up. So, all right. So let's talk about, surprise. We know all the stars. All right. We know Macon and Larry are going to do their job on the back end. We know, I do want to ask you a little bit about Kennedy. That's a pretty impressive performance out of that freshman, huh?
Yes, sir. Jaden, he's very competitive. Jaden's a very competitive player, man. I love to see him grow. Keep growing, put a little bit of weight on her.
Yeah.
Put a little bit of weight on her, play nickel, man. Come down and hit a little bit. But nah, Jaden's a good athlete.
Yeah, he kind of played. He played outside, played nickel. He had to take on a lot as a true freshman, and he balled all season.
Yes, sir.
He was good out there.
For sure.
But then you and Nick are back, and then Darius up front, Adonis. Got some guys. Who is nobody talking about that, or nobody knows about yet that we're gonna see next year? I'm like, wow, that guy's a player.
I think Shaquem would be a good guy for us. Shaquem, I'll probably line him up at corner this year. Shaquem, Jerry's, Keelan. Keelan, he's a real fast guy.
Jerry's Monroe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Keelan's a real fast guy. I guess we'll see the spring. I haven't seen I haven't got to see Jairus play with us yet, but he shows a real good.
He's a big fella, huh?
A big fella, big guy.
6'2",
6'2", 200.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, unfortunately, with the receivers we see in this league, you got to have some of that. I mean, you're so well. I mean, we got a bunch of good tight ends too. Dykes at Memphis and the kid from Cincinnati. I mean, you're able to cover those guys, run with those guys, run better than those guys. But you had the height also to cover them in man if necessary. But a lot of times we were giving up 4 or 5 inches.
Yes, sir.
To the outside receivers. Yeah. And you know, having guys with some length is important. And particularly, I think, you know, we played a lot more with Coach Hamp calling those shots. We played a lot more zone, right? And so bigger guys, you know, you look at the model that, I'm not saying we're playing cover 3, but you look at what Seattle did when they had Sherman and those guys. They were bigger cornerbacks, played a lot of zone, but those guys come up and hit you. They make plays on the ball, you know, and pick off the quarterback. I mean, it's sort of it's a good model when you kind of get away from the zero blitz all the time, you know, corners on the island at all times, sort of style we would employ at times in the past. So I'm excited to see that as well. Now, you're talking about guys getting bigger, you're talking about guys getting stronger. How's the first 3 weeks, I guess it's been, with Coach Hester been?
It's great, man. You know, we had a team meeting when everybody got back. It was like, hey, man, everybody got to buy in. I know we had like a rough season last year, but last season, like, it doesn't matter. Like, the record, the 2-10 does not affect the 2-2 team. And that's a big thing, is, you know, looking forward in the future, you know, what do you want that team to be remembered as? And then I feel like we can be a all-conference team. We can be a conference championship team with the guys we got here right now. Yeah.
And so, you know, I look at, and so specifically about Coach Hester, that you know, one thing I think you can ask my team, you know, Coach Bowden was great and Coach Rodriguez was great. We all love our position coaches. But the guy who meant the most to us probably was Coach ESC, our strength coach. And it's one of those things where you spend so much time with the guy and he pushes you to your max, you know, he pushes you to your limit. Are y'all now at that point with Coach Hester? I know he's new, but where you starting to feel like these workouts are kind of pushing you beyond the comfort zone?
Yes, sir. So our first day, you know, I came back early, get with him, you know, see what he wants to do with the program. And first couple days, you know, the things he put us through is like, I don't know about this, you know, I don't know about this one, Coach. And then, like, the more you get into it, you're like, I think the guys are gonna like this. So the guys are really starting to buy in. And, you know, you gotta love that when guys buy in. And Coach Hester's big on building like a family, building a big brotherhood, and I feel like that's big for football too. The closer team is gonna play better. Closer team is always gonna play better because you want to do it for more than yourself.
Well, it's a challenge now, right? Because nowadays you're driven to be so individual. I mean, you can entertain yourself with a million movies on your phone. You get on social media all day. You can talk to a whole network that's not in the locker room with you. I mean, there's so much. If you wanted to be antisocial, if you wanted to be an individual, it's easy to do.
Yes, sir.
And like, so finding a way to kind of cut through that with guys is a challenge, and he seems to be focused on doing just that, cutting through that, and make sure you guys are a brotherhood.
Yes, sir.
I mean, and that's it. That's the essence of successful football.
Yes, sir.
Is when you got 11 guys on the field at any given time, when the other 10 are willing to lay it down for the other guy to shine. You know, every single play, I'll do my 111th, right, to make sure that this whole unit works. That's how it works.
Yes, sir.
That's how you have successful football. And that all starts in January and on the cold field and in the wet and everything else.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And so in terms of his focus, I mean, you and I talked a little bit before. It's been a big emphasis on injury prevention.
Injury prevention, speed, power. That's his 3 keys.
Yeah.
Injury prevention. I feel like that's big. You know, we get guys back. You know, Carlos Hatcher will be back next year. Devin Dill will be back. A lot of guys, you know, had little nagging injuries.
So. Yeah, Dill was a freshman. We expect big things out of him. He got banged early.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
Yes, sir. So.
And then you're not the first one to mention Carlos. Everybody keeps telling him they're excited to see Carlos again.
I want to see Carlos back. Carlos had a great spring last year.
Yeah.
Carlos had like 4 or 5 sacks, like practice. Like, he's just back there like tagging. You know, you can't hit the quarterback or that.
Right.
So like you'll see him in film tagging off. Carlos was like, it's too easy. And then,
right.
And then he ended up getting like hurt. But But he ended up getting hurt, so we'll be glad to get Carlos back, man. He said he have a 14 sack season, so we're gonna hold him to it.
Okay.
We're gonna hold him to it. So
Darius likes to talk too.
yeah, Darius love it.
He's a guy that's made a lot of impactful plays behind the line of scrimmage.
Yes, sir.
And so you start to see question marks, kind of sort of answers were given in a lot of spots, and then we're just very blessed to have some of you veterans back yet again in the middle. So I'm excited to see your defense. Let's talk about, so two of the captains, you and Nick, y'all are captains on the team on the defensive side of the ball. Let's talk about you two captains on the other side. What makes Mike and Sincere special guys?
Mike, he has a good attitude the whole time. No matter how the game's going, he's gonna have a good attitude. He's gonna pump up the defense. If the offense is scoring points, the defense not stopping anybody, he'll come over there and talk to us. He'll say, "We got you, man." Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't stress. We got you. We're gonna fix it. And then Sincere's he's a dog, man. He's gonna he's not afraid to say something. He's not afraid to speak up at all. And that's what I love about Sincere, man. He knows he's a smaller lineman.
Yeah.
But he's strong. He's strong, man. It's great to have Sincere out there on the field.
You get those
big him every day.
mitts on you.
Oh yeah, man. His grip is so strong, man. His grip is so strong. Going against him every day at practice definitely makes you better.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely makes you better.
And so you've seen all the centers, you've seen all the guards throughout the league. Is he as good as any of them that you come across?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's something. I enjoy watching him play.
Yeah, he's definitely one of them.
I love the quarterback sequence, and see, it's the best play in football. Who's down, know the sneak's coming, and it don't matter.
He's
still gonna create that wedge.
He's gonna make a way through.
Yeah. So, well, all right. Well, look, man, important time of the year in New Orleans. We're at Mardi Gras season. We got plans. We got guys gonna go out catch some parades and whatnot.
I think the family's coming down, man. I think we're gonna all catch parades with some of the guys. Have a good time. Family said they're gonna fry up some fish while they're down, so that'd be great.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, I gotta tell you, you have to follow my guy, our producer Bradley, on the social media, because he is a Mardi Gras aficionado. There are many in New Orleans, but the man knows his Mardi Gras. Okay, you follow him, you'll get some good tips where to bring the family and everything.
Right on.
Catch the parades. All right. I'm gonna be out of town the first weekend, and I'm a little torn. I know. I love the first weekend of full parades. Yeah. 9 days or whatever before Mardi Gras. Like it's not too crowded. Yeah, that's the time if your family, then that's the time to take them out to the route. You get 5 parades on Saturday, 5 on Sunday, and it's again, you're not like crowded too much yet.
Right on.
Now that brings me to a controversial question. Now, a favorite parade food is fried chicken.
Either.
All right, Popeyes or Bojangles?
Ooh, see, South Carolina, we do Bojangles. Back in South Carolina, we do Bojangles. Bojangles, man. Bojangles, it's pretty good.
You got to get those bow rounds.
Bow rounds. They got the breakfast. They got the chicken supreme with the honey mustard. I ain't gonna lie, I be craving it down here in New Orleans, man. We gotta get us one down here, man.
Well, I know Bojangles is a big rap. My wife took me there when we went visit the friends out there, and I was like, "Come on, man, it ain't as good as Popeyes." And I was like, "It's pretty close." I'm not saying it's as good as Popeyes, but it's close.
Yes, sir.
Now, we got to take you to, you got to go get, you can go get the crispy crunchy and some of the gas station chicken around here too. Now that might be better than both of them, but
Nick loves it, man.
Yeah,
Nick loves it.
That's good stuff. All right, so what's in terms of you said they're gonna come down. We love talking food here, as you can see. I'm not a small person.
Right on.
What's your favorite thing to eat out of anything?
Out of anything, I love fried catfish. Jambalaya. Jambalaya's good.
Mm-hmm. Now
crawfish is good too.
Yeah, okay.
Crawfish is good. That's good eating.
Yeah, we're pretty good at it. Now look, we gotta go catch. I was just having a conversation. I'm told we gotta get over to Cafe Reconcile because their fried catfish plate on Fridays.
Oh yeah,
it's supposed to be the best in the city. According to my law partner, he just retired and he's been going there every Friday. Okay. That's what he says.
Right on.
That's what he says. You gotta check it out.
Check it out tomorrow, man. We have to check it out tomorrow.
All right. So, well, look, Dorian, this has been a pleasure. I really enjoyed it. I mean, we could go on for hours and hours, but I'd like to respect your time a little bit. So,
right on.
So we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. And man, thank you for coming on. Can't wait to watch you play.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Yes, sir.
thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you to Bradley Schneller and our friends at Stack Coaching and Roof Fitness for hosting us. Thank you to Fear the Wave Network for hosting us digitally, putting us out there in the space. You can catch us on YouTube. If you don't know by now, catch us on YouTube. But you can also download the audio version of this podcast on any of your favorite podcast streams. It's on the streamers. It's on the Fear the Wavecast channel. Thanks for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next time. Roll Wave.
Roll Wave.